My name is Elizabeth Willett, Senior Fertility Herbalist with the Natural Fertility Company. For those of you who haven't met me, hello, welcome, and I probably should share a little bit more about myself. I've been Senior Herbalist with the company for 3 years now, although I have actually Senior Herbalist for less than a year, but I've been with the company for 3 years. I have a master's degree in Holistic Health Studies, and I have gardened and loved plants and studied herbs for a very, very, very long time. I have an aspiration to be Dr. Liz one day, but I don't know if that'll happen. We'll see. So anyway, right now I work for this amazing company, the Natural Fertility Company. We are the naturalfertilityshop.com and naturalfertilityinfo.com. And we come to you in many different ways. I shared last week with those of you who joined where we are. We are an exclusively online company, but we have social media accounts. We have 2 websites. We have an entire team of very talented women with various specialties that reach out to people or talk with people via email and live chat and phone every day, or Monday through Friday actually. So anyway, we're out there. Hi everyone, welcome. Today I want to talk to you a little bit more about Mindbody Therapies. As many of you know, it's kind of been my theme lately to talk about the emotions of this journey, the emotions of infertility, the emotions of all that you hear, the good and the bad, everything. I feel like it's something that we don't talk about very much, and it's near and dear to my heart. I feel like no matter what you're taking in terms of herbs and supplements, if you're not also addressing the emotions that you're feeling every day, you may not heal as well as you hope or want, and your success may not come quite as easily. I realize that maybe some of you don't understand what we mean when we say mind-body therapies or mind-body medicine, which is something that a term that you'll see when you search this topic on the web. So I wanted to bring to you a little of the history and then explain that and explain some thoughts that our team has about mind-body therapies. We actually talked about this as a group yesterday, so I wanted to share a little bit about what we brainstormed and came up with. So anyway, mind-body, the connection between what goes on in your mind and the health of your body is not a new concept. It is something that has been dated back to the time of Hippocrates, and anyway, healers have understood the connection of the mind and the body, but it hasn't been until fairly recently, actually, around 1964, that the concept has been given a name, that scientists and psychologists began studying the correlation between the thoughts in your mind and the emotions that you feel and how they affect your body. In 1964, there was a psychiatrist, George Solomon, who noticed that people with rheumatoid arthritis got worse when they were depressed. He began to investigate the impact of the emotions on inflammation and the immune system. If you've been battling infertility for a while, or if you're new to this journey, even if you're new to this journey, you're likely to have heard that we work with making sure the body has a healthy immune response and has a healthy inflammatory response, right? We don't want inflammation, that's bad. And we don't want a suppressed immune system, that's also not good. So anyway, this psychologist coined the term psychoneuroimmunology. It's a big word. Psycho for psychology, neuro for the nervous system or neurology, and immunology for the immune system. So that's a little science. But then in the 1960s and early 1970s, the physician Herbert Benson coined the term relaxation response. He studied how meditation can actually affect blood pressure. Sitting quietly, channeling your thoughts or directing your thoughts to a sound, a specific phrase, music, listening to someone's voice talk you through a certain scenario, like being in nature or being by water or laying and resting, or listening to music while sitting and consciously breathing can actually lower your blood pressure. And then more understanding came of the link between what goes on in the mind and then likewise what happens in the body in 1975, when psychologist Robert Ader showed that mental and emotional cues can affect the immune system. If you've ever been sick, really sick, had a really bad cold or had something really bad going on, you probably haven't thought of this, but if you think back, you might realize that you weren't in a good place mentally when you felt bad, and that if you aren't in a bad place mentally, you're constantly, thinking, woe is me, oh, I feel horrible, this is never going to go away, this is never going to end, how am I going to heal, how am I going to get better? And these might be thoughts daily for you on your fertility journey. You probably realize that you were sick for quite a while, like your sickness hung on to you. That does happen. That does happen for some people. So anyway, mind-body therapies and medicine actually are a fairly new idea, and it's understandable why some people are kind of suspicious of them. We hear repeatedly that certain people can't or don't want to do specific mind-body therapies because they think they're associated with a specific religion, and that isn't the case, and that's part of why I'm here to explain that. So anyway, we'll get to that a little bit later, but how can we begin to address these emotions and the emotions of this journey more? There are many ways. It's not going to be an easy process. I would never promise you that, because when we take time to think about how we feel, usually it's sad for a little bit of time. Many events on this fertility journey are sad events and can be frustrating and disheartening, and you hear things from doctors that aren't positive and that aren't helping you feel empowered to take your health into your own hands, and my list could go on and on and on. So stopping to think about emotions and your emotions at any given time might be tough, but it's completely worth it. It's really important to think about how your thoughts and the power of your thoughts and emotions influence your physical health. To stop and have an awareness of what you're thinking and how it makes you feel. So my suggestion for a first step, if you haven't ever taken the time to do this yet, is think about self-awareness and monitor how your thoughts affect your physical sensations. I think the easiest way to do this is in a journal. Grab any sort of journal. It could be just a plain old notebook. It could be a cute fancy journal and you have a beautiful pen. But when you're having a moment, write down the date, what you're feeling, or what your thought is, how that thought makes you feel, and then what you did to remedy it. I think that the importance of doing this is mostly so that you can begin to see pattern, specifically if it happens at a specific time in your menstrual cycle, or if every time you go to the doctor you come home and you have anxiety for a day, or you have heart palpitations for a certain amount of time, or whatever that might be. But writing them down so that you can see and look at any sort of pattern might be a helpful place to start. So that you know if, for example, you see a pattern with 3 days before your period starts, you have crazy PMS, you can be prepared for that, hopefully. And that might include some sort of mind-body therapy, but it also might include some sort of supplement, right? You can create a program around how your moods shift. But it's important to write things down so you can actually see with your eye how your moods and your emotions are affecting your body physically. So a journal, it's a really, really, really elementary thing, right? But it's an easy, great place to start to see pattern. Specifically seeing what caused that specific emotion to start. So from our team, it's really important to acknowledge where you hold stress in your body and where you hold emotions. I think if you sit and think for a minute, I know that I finally realized that I hold all of my tension in my shoulders, specifically this little area in my neck. When I'm stressed, when I'm having a really rough day at work, when I'm just feeling sad for everybody, I walk away and I'm always tense in my neck, almost always. So yeah, pay attention to where you hold stress in your body. Have on hand some tools to help you through that, whether it's your husband to give you a neck massage or an essential oil, or schedule a weekly massage or chiropractic visit, whatever that takes, whatever that means for you. But finding a practice that is doable and accessible is really, really what's going to end up being best, no matter what you do. What else? From our team meeting yesterday, we all talked about mind-body therapies and how to make it more accessible and understandable for people, and help you not be scared of addressing the emotions. We rattled around the idea that there really is no separation between your mind and how it affects your body, how we all need to stop and calm ourselves and trust the process. Find, like I said, a practice that works for you. It might be different from what your friend or your sister uses, or might be different from what I suggest or what your doctor suggests, right? So start by journaling. Journaling when your emotions happen, what makes them happen, how you feel, and what you did to help yourself through it. Consider using positive affirmations. We've talked about this. Consider using the gratitude technique where you stop and quickly write down 10 things that you're grateful for. Consider also a variety of different things. These are Mindbody therapies. I'm going to run down a little bit of a list here. And find one that works for you. Prayer we hear of regularly. Prayer works for people. It doesn't matter who you pray to or what you choose to pray to. That is completely individual, and I'm not here to tell you that one way of praying is different or wrong and one is right. That's not all the case. But if you feel like prayer helps you, definitely pray. Your spirituality. Spirituality simply means finding a connection to something that is meaningful to you. That could be your religion and prayer and God. That could be whoever is your God and your religion. It could be nature. It could be connecting within, connecting with yourself. It could be a guardian angel. It could be really anything. But finding a connection to something that gives you meaning, that helps you find meaning in your situation. It could be meditation. Meditation could mean, it can mean many things. There are many forms of meditation. We've talked about together, if you've been with me the last several Thursdays, metta meditation or loving kindness meditation. There are guided meditations. We have a beautiful meditation through the chakras on our website. It can be mindfulness. There are music meditations. You could go to YouTube and find any sort of meditation that you want. There are ones where you sit quietly and think on your own and guide your thoughts back to your breathing. There are meditations where you listen to music and listen to someone else speak. Those are the ones that work best for me. I like to hear someone tell me what I should be thinking. I'm not really good at pulling my thoughts from, ooh, there's a bird outside, to breathe. So anyway, find what works for you. There are different breathwork practices. There's mindfulness-based stress reduction. We've talked about the emotional freedom technique. It's beautiful. It's a tapping technique that you can use. There are creative therapies. Some people are creative. There are things like music therapy where you can listen to specific music to help you through your emotions and your stress. There's art therapy. If you like to do art or you're a creative person, art can be therapeutic and help you through emotions. There's hypnosis. I certainly would suggest clinical hypnosis under the guidance of a skilled practitioner. There's movement. Movement can help so much with stress and emotions. Yoga, specifically fertility yoga for those of you on the fertility journey. Qigong, Tai Chi, dance. Dance is therapeutic. I don't know if you guys were with me a while back when I admitted that there are times when I crank a song and just dance my fool head off and don't care what it looks like, but it feels good. It's definitely a way to release stress for me sometimes. There are things like biofeedback. Certainly talk therapy. Talk therapy can be huge. Speaking what you're feeling to get it off your chest and off your mind. Or maybe not off, but just let it go for a little while. There are therapists. There are teams of women and people like those of us at the Natural Fertility Shop just here to listen. We don't have to really do anything other than just let you know we're here to let you vent and be an ear to listen. Oftentimes people rely on their partners, which is fabulous. You could seek the help of a fertility counselor. Your doctor may have a counselor that he or she could suggest to you. Midwives and doulas are fabulous. They have resources. They're really fabulous at listening. You could certainly seek the support of them even though you're not yet pregnant. And they may have people that they reach out to for help too, so think about that. But yeah, definitely talk therapy and finding someone who can listen to you is important. So I hope that you understand that the thoughts on your mind can affect your health. Pay attention to what you think, and when you're sad, and when you're angry, and when you've heard something from your doctor that you don't want to hear, and how that manifests in your body, where you feel the tension, whether it's in your legs or your back or your shoulders, or you get a headache, or all of a sudden your eyes start to get blurry, or your mouth gets dry. Those are all ways that your body is indicating that that emotion has taken hold, especially if you're not ill, right? If we're feeling fine and everything's going good and something just immediately sets us off and you're feeling anxious, think about where you feel that in your body and record that as a starting place. You can start to see pattern, and then think about how you can get yourself through it. What can you do to help yourself through that emotion that is healthy for you? I don't want you resorting to something that's not healthy, or driving fast in your car, or just going to grab a soda, right? I want you to choose something that's going to have long-term health benefits, and those are some of the things that I spoke of just now. So, and certainly reach out to someone if you need it. If you are to the point where you're feeling depressed, anyone, but you're specifically entitled to help. So make sure that you let someone know, because at that point we want to be getting you some skilled support. But we are here as well. Please reach out to us. We're all very happy to work with you and get you information that you need and answer questions that we can answer, and help you feel empowered to make fertility health choices. And we'll be back next week. I certainly will be here on Thursday, and hopefully Heather will be back as well. But anyway, join me then, and I hope you have a fabulous rest of your week. Thank you for joining me. You're welcome for my time. I love this. I love this time to connect with all of you, and we will see you next week. Yes. All right. Bye, everyone.